Sorry about that, everyone. We have been experiencing some technical difficulties on my side because I am using a new program that I don't use very often. So let's try this again. The iconoclasts of Maria, Faust, and Bryan have arrived at their coterie house, and Samantha is indeed there. And the last thing that I heard was that Faust had mentioned Violet.
Yes, I did indeed. We started in a conversation, it seemed like to me, that Sam seemed a little off. What seemed it has definitely been a difficult past couple of weeks. Stressful for everyone. You've been keeping safe, haven't you?
Yes, I have. Um, Thanks for your concern.
Certainly. Out of curiosity,
Uh huh.
last time I checked, you were all going feeding. You all happened upon each other out while you were out?
Yeah. Yeah, we happened upon each other while we were out. Well, I happened upon them while they were out.
Hmm. Good to have you over. Maria, Bryan, what are your
Yes.
plans tonight? The rest of the evening?
I'm keeping my plans open as everything else I gotta wait for tomorrow to end up. Sure, is hunky dory. So till then, I'm just gonna end up being nestled up, unless there's something else. You seem to end up having plans. Might spend some time with you. Don't think I've ever actually watched you work.
Huh. It's nothing special. Nothing like what you do.
Yeah, like when I do specials. Please.
Everybody has their own modus operandi.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, right now I only know a handful of things about what the hell, pardon my language, give me Jesus. What it is that Faust ends up doing? Talking about stuff that's way over my head, that's for sure.
Well, if you're interested in checking in with Violet with me, I certainly invite you. If it
Are
makes you feel better as well.
are you going to Violet's club then?
Either that, or invite her out again.
I mean, I don't think dignity is your scene.
No, I don't think so either.
You
Not
know.
exactly a place for suits.
Oh, it's a place for suits of a different variety.
Birthday suits. Okay.
Right.
Yes.
So you propose I invite her over? Maybe find a neutral ground.
I mean, there's always that.
Do you have an idea, Samantha?
I mean, I could give her a call if you'd like.
Certainly.
Maria, do you mind if I use your room?
You know, everything should be fine, Sammy.
Well, it's just in case you guys want to talk.
Please. I don't end up keeping nothing from you.
Okay.
She sits, relaxes for a bit, or at least seems to lean back. Eyes focused on Faust for a moment.
Is there something you want to say? Maria?
I'm thinking is the best way I could put it. I'm trying to end up wrapping my head around this whole thing. Between Ray wanting to chase after some legend and me having no idea on how it is that you do what you do or what's the deal. And we need to end up getting enough of a network going that we can even have a high hope in hell figuring out what the hell Bryan is. I don't know. I guess I feel like a fifth wheel right now. So.
And during that time, Samantha had pulled out her phone and dialed the number and is waiting for an answer.
Well, fifth wheel isn't exactly how I would refer to it. You've been doing your part. You've been acting the host. Inviting Bryan, presenting the territory to him.
Well, nevertheless. Besides, not everybody can dress up as fancy as you.
If you'd like to, we'll have to make a whole event, a little bit of an event out of it. And Faust just strikes Maria a smile. But, outside of that, you don't feel included. You're absolutely imperative. How would you like to be included?
Nah, it's not that I don't feel included. I guess I think me and Bryan are both of similar position. Right now, Bryan really is putting his all into trying to figure out how to training up Cole. But outside of that, I mean, what can we do? No offense, yeah, Faust, but I don't exactly have somebody who has ties to multinational corporations or anything of such. And what I'm here told, your lot knows a lot more about this kind of thing than what I got. Me and Sammy have just been kind of pitching ideas, but really, I honestly feel like I'm trying to put together a puzzle and I'm missing half the pieces most of the time. I don't have that kind of mind on. Honestly, I'm more concerned about everything I can see out my back porch. That's about all.
Well,
And Samantha's talking quietly on the phone, just not trying to interrupt you all.
very well. The big picture. Generally speaking, I think you probably have it in the most simplistic format than the rest of us. We all have a place, and we all need blood.
Well,
I was thinking.
Oh, nothing. Just saying I'm trying to work on it. What were you thinking?
Meanwhile, there was a suggestion that Ray posed fairly recently about this Dismal character. Maybe he's been imposing on our turf. Maybe perhaps he ratted us out.
Think he'd do that?
Well, whether he did or not. ST, out of curiosity, I don't know if I know this in character or not. Out of character, I know that Rascal was more or less kabunked for being a rat to Camarilla.
Yeah.
But did Noel mention that, and or would Faust know that?
Give me an intelligence politics.
Oh boy. Ooh. Give me a sec.
Mm-hmm.
Did it roll?
No.
Let me reload.
Okay.
I think it's just a big derp across the board, so. But we can hear each other, so that's a start.
Fine. It's fine.
It's fine.
All right.
But as you're mentioning Rascal, Samantha is going to hang up the phone and thank Violet. So after your roll, we can continue.
It didn't roll again. What do I?
What do?
Okay, I'm just gonna roll the 3 dice. What is it? Is it 8s or 10s?
10s.
Blank.
And you are...
Yeah, roll 20s derping.
Okay.
Because I tried to roll and it didn't come through. So.
Okay.
That's okay. We know how to work around that too.
Yeah, we know how to work around that too. Maybe it's the API that's broken. You can turn off the API settings on the top of the character sheets, but you would know that you would know that there have been a couple of examples to set forth as several people that have been made examples of as far as the examples to the Camarilla. Rascal was one of them. It's not a noteworthy name, but he was ousted as a spy. And you would know that Dismal, according to Ray, lost a child to Sanctuary, to Urian Doyle. You're not sure which, but it makes sense that Camarilla spies were being ousted by that coterie. So maybe you could put 2 and 2 together?
Alright, I'll take it. Regardless of whether or not he is actually guilty, the reality is that if we can pull together enough, I guess, concepts, loose evidence that we can pin on him, that can more or less be sort of an out for us. We didn't start the fire. Damn well put it out. Besides, he already has some degree of, well, some degree of count there. There was a time when the city was reasonably trying to get rid of any sort of Camarilla snitches, spies.
From Dallas, Samantha says.
Snitches get stitches.
The point being, coincidentally, without us, there is no actual neighborhood to make territory. We're ultimately what's making it.
Doubt Marjani will end up seeing it that way.
No, she wouldn't. This is her turf.
Doubt she'd like having Dismal trying to push in on it either.
Dismal's more of a go-between. He's a go-between between Baron Jameson and the Unclaimed. Kind of a messenger boy, if it makes you feel any better.
All the better reason to have him have a little bit more motivation to work with us. Reasonably.
He works well enough with Marjani.
Yes, but I don't want to go between Marjani.
Well, let's focus on what we can do. You got a meeting you want to set up. Sammy, how's that coming?
Yes, Violet did say that she would meet with you. Either here or at Dignity. Your choice. I just text her which one.
Let's do here. Get Bryan introduced.
Violet's nice enough. I like her.
I think so too. That's why I want to introduce her to our new coterie member.
I think she said she maybe had a couple of appointments before she could make it, but she'll meet you here.
Excellent. I appreciate the assistance.
No problem.
Still, though, in regards to everything else, we do need to actually start spreading out with more networking and information.
Just be careful not to get caught.
I will be as silent as a ghost.
Another ghost of San Antonio.
Chase one legend, and hopefully not become one in the meantime.
To be quite honest, Mr. Beaufort, you're not quite at the point where you're a legend.
Nah, just a savory rumor.
Sure. I should probably head home.
Very well. Be safe.
Yeah, you too. And,
Go ahead.
and she's going to leave. Hey, Maria. Oh, I guess.
Yeah? What's up?
Do you want to come over later tonight?
I'll make it a point to arrive here a couple hours before near dawn. See if we can beat it.
Alright, I'll see you then.
Alright. Take care of yourself, Sammy.
You too. and she makes her way out the door.
How about you, Bryan?
I'm very curious. St. Will I have overheard any of the talk between Noel and Faust about their data mining operation?
90% sure we talked about it in front of you, yeah.
Fairly certain, yeah.
I,
At least in passing.
Also, I just want to make sure. I'm very curious as to this data mining that I've heard you and Noel talking about.
What questions
Last I
would you
heard,
have?
Noel. Both of what?
Go right ahead.
Last I heard, Noel said he was headed to the office to check on that, I believe.
Yes.
Uh,
My private offices
may
are
not.
set up.
I may not be the most skilled computer technology or computer scientist in the world, but could I be of assistance in helping you monitor and control this operation? I mean, aside from trying to help Nicole, I feel as useless as tits on a boar hog.
Well, in the event of the mining operation, the circumstances tend to be pretty simple. The whole setup is within my offices. And with that, we can expect to see funding come our way soon. I'm not so certain. Unless you have computer experiences.
I do.
You do? Oh,
Yes, I do.
well then, certainly. We can look into it a bit more. Specifically, I've been interested in figuring out how I can set up these finances and resources. In my eyes, I was thinking...
Set up. How do you mean set up?
How do we plan to invest it back into this neighborhood? And how do we plan to protect that funding?
Y'all speaking over my head.
I'm not sure exactly how secure it is, but Bryan will reach out and pull out some information that he has received for his mask. This might be a way of protecting your investment, not leading directly back to you. I'm not sure how secure this is, though.
What does Bryan show Faust?
The information that he was given for his mask. An alternate name and identity. Different social security number and driver's license than the name he currently uses.
Is his mask name Bryan?
No.
No,
His mask name is Dylan.
Dylan. Dylan, huh? I think I have an idea. How do you feel about getting involved with some, wow, figuring out who the lowlives of the neighborhood are?
Could you be a little more specific? I'm not sure if I just heard you correctly.
Well, there was rumors and whatnot of gang activity. Faust does air quotes with his fingers. I was thinking maybe we could take advantage of that in the world of the kind and maybe start using that as a means to direct law enforcement eyes outside of the neighborhood. And maybe start pushing into others.
You mean running this riffraff out of our territory to borders or boundaries beyond?
Correct. But also have sort of a frame of reference of how we move them.
How so?
Well, I was thinking maybe, considering Ray has some ideas in local groups, we can start getting an idea of gang activity in the neighborhood. Have an idea of what sort of tags and symbols there are. Start sending folks outwards. Investigations will leave from our neighborhood. The first thing we need is maybe a sense of safety. Locals are still a little shaken from events. They would like a local security. And with a justified one upheld by law enforcement. Well, rather, one backed by law enforcement. Then maybe we can actually establish something that's a little more covert. Establish an integrated security system that is covert. The observation, the eyes, and the active security system is self-stimulating.
So are you saying we need to get feet on the street, secure this area, and imply or recruit law enforcement backing?
I'm saying we can potentially take it in the route that we establish you as a very firm member of local neighborhood security.
Indeed.
Maria mentioned she wanted to make a gym. Makes sense with an increase in local businesses. But there would be better localized security. You know, private securities.
Of course. If I understood Miss Samantha correct, was it Nicole? I don't remember. Only way for this neighborhood to start feeling more secure is to get rid of this riffraff and the gangs that's running around at night and whatever else has been going on that I'm unaware of. Show the people in this place that there is a security here. give them a sense of security at least. They might start. Pretty sure it was Nicole. Start coming out, get the nightlife coming back around. But yes, that is definitely something I can assist in as well. But I need to know where these gangs hang out, where they try to run the various organizations and ne'er-do-wells.
That's where I come in. So, I'm gonna go ahead and message Anna, Miss Parker.
Okay. And what do you message her?
Start in with a little bit of inquiry. Has there been any suspicious individuals that she thinks shouldn't have been bailed recently?
What's your dots in politics? Or she's your retainer now at this point, right? She's a 1-dot retainer?
Yeah.
Okay. She doesn't have much. She, off the top of her head, without doing any more digging, there have been a couple of people that have been bailed out that she suspects run in a similar area, but she's not sure entirely where they're located. She knows them by name only, because they have a little bit of a reputation. And while they're not big time, they're worth keeping out of jail, apparently. She's not sure who bailed them out. She doesn't have that info right off the top, but she knows that they were recently released after having accrued a couple of drug charges and a couple of assault charges. But these are criminals that have been in and out multiple times.
Full offenders?
Okay. Not even convicted. Never convicted. All evidence was always circumstantial.
All right. Well, we'll start with that and blackmail them their parole.
She doesn't know how you contact them. She doesn't know where you find them.
But she does have names. What names do we have?
The names you would have, because I have this listed out somewhere. Let's see. Would be Bernie Rivera and David Ramirez.
Ramirez. Huh. As in the Ramirez house that got busted?
Potentially. It's a common name in this city.
For sure. Well.
Same as Eddie.
That is true. That is true. Alright. Well, let's play with some intrigue there. What were what were the alleged charges for each of these individuals? Or at least if they're no known locations.
She doesn't have the exact charges. Ramirez. David Ramirez has been in multiple times for kind of vagrant behavior. Not that he's been charged with having illicit substances, but he's been charged with trespassing, but has always been let go. She assumes he's homeless.
And then Bernie Rivera,
She doesn't know much about him.
Dang. Okay. Well, that is a start, at least.
She would have to do more digging and potentially get into some risky delving into files in order to do that.
That's fair. I don't need her to do that much work right now. We'll start with David Ramirez then.
And what do you tend to do?
Well, supposedly he's homeless. Time to investigate homeless camps. One thing before Faust does, though. He's going to get some, street clothes. Just really fast and change into them, so... it's less easy to identify the man on the streets. He's not sure what could happen, but, if it doesn't lead back to him, that would be ideal. So, Faust now equipped with jeans and a hoodie. So I have one... Oh,
I was just gonna say it isn't too much longer that Ahura and Noel do eventually return home. But Noel seems to go straight to his room, where Ray is just kind of hanging out.
Wonderful. And I guess in that sense, I would probably relay this information to the rest of the group. I mentioned to Ahura, because I know she's been trying to work with the vagrant folk regarding networking and whatnot. I asked her about either two of these names, Bernie Rivera and David Ramirez, if they sound familiar to her.
Well, I've met up Dave before. Can't tell you what his last name is, though. He was homeless. Big beard. I'm a scraggly looking guy. By the way, what's your look? They ain't like you.
No, I don't think he will, but that's no new news to me. But if I do run into him, I think it'd be good if you came along. If you're interested.
I ain't got nothing better to do.
Alright.
You sure you need my help?
It's up to you.
Fuck it.
Alright, and with that, I look at the other two. If you would like to come along, you're welcome.
Well, I'll definitely be along for the ride.
I have nothing better to do.
Excellent. Worst case scenario, we meet one or the other. Or none? Mostly none. Faust just shakes his head. Let's go.
And the three of you and Ray, where do you go?
Well, let's start with this. Who has better sense of streetwise here?
Ray will tell you where it is that she met Dave the one time, but the second time that she went there to try and meet him, he wasn't there, and the place was all boarded up. So maybe he's moved on? I don't know.
Maybe a homeless camp?
Could be worth checking out anyways.
Sure. Let's go investigate.
Sure.
Okay. And, so we follow Ray's directions there.
Alright. You follow Ray's directions. Noel says that he has some studying to do and that he's going to be staying behind.
Okay. Once we're at the location, what does the building look like?
It looks like an abandoned place. And there's not many of those here in San Antonio. So the fact that it's even abandoned kind of strikes you as odd. It is.
Do I see any like lot signs or anything that designates like some sort of company that owns the property?
No.
Oh. Okay. Is it still boarded up?
It is still boarded up.
Bryan will walk around the back of the house, looking to see if windows and doors are boarded up all around.
Yeah, you would notice that every entrance to this place is shut. Told ya, he moved on.
Perhaps.
I mean, if his place is found out, why would he stay?
That's a good point. It's just interesting that there's no sort of ownership to the lot. I mean, we're pretty close to the center of the city at this point.
Does it look like there's any way to get into the back of the house without leaving obvious signs that somebody's come and gone?
Make an intelligence larceny.
Intelligence larceny. I have no larceny. No modifiers, right?
Nope, no modifiers. You're not sure. You're looking at this. It's boarded up pretty solid. You try and break into this place, you might be breaking plywood.
Yeah. Just thinking if there's a way to get into this house, there might be evidence of whatever, or whatever was going on, or wherever Mr. Ramirez might have moved on to.
I already checked. He's gone and fucked off.
that's a shame.
I've been here a couple of times, actually.
And how did you get in?
I have my ways. But he still noticed me, so it's not like I'm sneaky.
Oh.
Well,
Rascal did say that he did have people around here looking in on us, so this isn't the only spot.
who? You said Rascal.
Or, sorry, just
Small.
Maul. I'm getting names mixed up. That's what it is.
At the mention of that name, I want to sense the beast and see if there's anybody other than just us present.
Now, if I recall, this is still in a part of our domain, correct?
It is.
I think I'll take a moment to ask around appropriate channels. I'd like to end up invoking a investigation wits plus lane. See if we can
Wits
see if
investigation?
any. But
Yeah, what's investigation lane? Go for it. See if there's any mention of him in the streets. Ooh.
I know exactly where he is.
That
And
is a-
probably don't like it.
And you do not like it at all.
Yeah, but there's no point in trying to stop that because it's 210. So there's a crit in the hunger section.
Uh-huh.
So that's 4,
Mhm.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Hot damn, that's a double crit.
If I could re-roll those other two, hoping to fish for another 10.
I mean, if you want to try for triple crit, but
I'll look it up.
you actually want to kill the person who's giving you this information.
Okay. So what's my compulsion?
Harm.
I'm in a harm.
You want to hurt somebody, something, this guy even. And your beast is ready to lash out at the moment's notice.
Where do I find him?
You're on the verge of frenzy. You know that on the exterior of your domain, out towards the major intersections of the highways, is a little known camp. There's usually a group of maybe 5 individuals at most sleeping there at any given time, but they frequently cycle out. And there's frequent mention of a person named David or Dave that is there constantly giving advice, giving tips, providing food even to these people. He seems to cycle around the entire area. Fairly well-known figure amongst the homeless, now that you're kind of getting more information about it.
I'm going to need to, through my goddamn teeth, I'm going to be here explaining this all to Faust. Because, darling, if I it's on him, making us do the whole runaround, I don't like having to end up going outside my domain to end up finding people, especially when it's this important.
Hot damn.
Am I getting the sense that Maria's kind of heated about things right now?
Oh yeah, she's fuming. She can't hide it. She's got teeth popped and everything.
Is there something not wrong about this figure?
Well, outside of the fact that he has us running around trying to end up finding him, that he's apparently already well ingrained in the homeless camps, and the fact that he could just end up walking in and out of here without so much as a "Hey, how you doing?" and the fact that he's probably been doing this for quite some while. Yeah, I'm pretty perturbed, Faust. Sorry,
Especially
Mr.
since he's...
Buford.
We don't need to get angry about it.
Oh,
Yeah,
I think we do. I think
at
we
this
do.
point, I think I'm gonna. If I get a hold of him, I'll tell you this much. If gives me a lift, I'll probably end up taking me out on him. Jojo, mute yourself and take a draw.
Yeah, I didn't hear what Derek said.
Maria's fuming on the idea that she might just like make a very brutal point to Dave, probably by taking it out on somebody smaller.
Let's make the evening come together and go pay Dave a visit. I'm not too enthused about the fact that he's probably networking and doing all of this business. Presumably for Dismal. I like to establish the fact that this is, well, it's our little slice of heaven. I think we need to start establishing that it is not alright for people to just be walking out, in and out how they please, especially since recently. Very well. Take us away, Maria.
I do have one thing. I did say that I wanted to sense the beast to see if there was anybody other than us in this area.
It wouldn't pop out. I don't believe it would show
Mm-mm.
anybody who's obfuscated, but
It would not.
anybody who happens to be walking by, maybe kindred hiding in a crowd.
Alright.
No, yeah, it would not. It would not reveal anyone who's obfuscated. So if that's what your intention was, you would know that it wouldn't do that.
That was my intention, and yes, I do get that now. Keeping an eye out.
Aside from the kindred in your immediate vicinity, you don't sense anyone else.
Okay.
And so, the four of you are going to go and find Dave, then.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't take you long to find one of the places that he does frequent, and you do find that he is indeed there, based on the description that you have of him now.
Ah, there he is. Well, let's go get introduced.
And you see that he's
Go ahead.
sitting and talking with a particularly thin-looking individual.
Been looking. Is this someone I recognize? No.
Not particularly, no.
I'll stay back a bit, keep an eye on everything that's going on. Make sure that nobody's trying to catch up with Faust or whoever else is approaching Dave.
And Ray's gonna stay back with you, Bryan.
I just look at Maria. And I just shrug. Well, Tonight,
Your
my name is
show.
Phil.
All right, Phil.
Would you like me to continue calling you Maria?
Rather you not offer my name at all. Keep them guessing. Your show. Hope it gives me an excuse. You can see that you see at this one.
Very well. I go up and wave down David, approach him and start talking to him. Hello, good evening.
He kind of looks you up and down. What's up, kid?
Hi there. I have a couple questions. I don't know if you can answer it, but I'm a little bit lost around this area. Been having a bit of a hard time lately.
Ain't we all?
Yeah. I'm a little bit new. I have a couple friends here, but I mean, we're trying to find our way around the town, and we heard there was some weird gangbanger business going on. Oh, sorry. Faust puts out his hand. My name's Phil, by the way.
Right. He doesn't take your hand, but he is going to insight check you. I need you to roll me a charisma manipulation subterfuge.
Manipulation subterfuge. Oh, you don't buy it. That's funny.
Good afternoon, Phil. He says that sarcastically. You don't look like you're living rough. Who are you?
Like I said, just a local. Little bit lost in the area. I was hoping I could get some directions.
Directions for what?
Areas to avoid in the city. It's mostly like I heard there was some business out in the park, and it's kind of made me anxious. I was wondering if maybe it's a little presumptuous. But I was wondering if there were folks around here that actually knew anything about anything.
There's plenty of folks who know lots of things about lots of different things.
But specifically the gang activity.
You say that like I know what you're talking about. I don't.
No. You don't know, like, any particular places that are a bit, well, dangerous to be around? More dangerous than others?
Everywhere is dangerous at night. It's nighttime. You should be in bed, kid.
Okay, maybe I need to be a little less laissez-faire here. Rather than places to avoid, I'm looking for places to look into.
Maria is going to start walking towards the thin figure that Dave was chatting it up with while this conversation's going.
And he does see you. He does see you do it.
Maybe to sort of clarify, we're trying to get a little bit more read on what kind of figures here actually have some street power. Because we want in on it.
Nobody here has street power.
But you know who does, don't you?
What makes you think I do? Who are you? And why are you here harassing me? As far as I understand, this is public property.
As far as I understand, you've been in and out of jail, David. You know who has street power. Because you've been on the streets.
Uh-huh.
Real
Yes.
quick, I'm sorry, Spectre, but
Go for it.
at this point, just given the compulsion
Mm-hmm.
and the fact that this is them dancing at this point, I have to ask, outside of Dave and this sickly figure, is there anybody who can actually see what's going on, or does Ray and Bryan have a pretty good handle on watching out if anybody's going to see this?
Ray has been hyper aware of this entire situation. She's got her eyes kind of good darting between Dave, between the thin figure, between the other figures that might be approaching slightly, but has enough of a stature on herself and Bryan that nobody's immediately walking up. They're eyeing you, but they're not approaching.
But we're in the dark. Like, it'd be pretty hard to tell the full details as to what is actually happening if you were on looking. Do I understand that correctly?
Yeah, anyone who doesn't have dark vision would be at a serious disadvantage.
Okay. So, this is something that would be very easy to explain away. Very well then. Let me just double check what the opposing roll would be.
Bryan is also being hypervigilant. Your behavior, Maria, got him a little on edge, but he's also keeping an eye on everybody else around in this area. Anybody else trying to approach?
Well, at this point, I would like a roll from the thin figure of their stamina plus resolve.
Okay.
And, yeah, I'm going to rouse the blood. I'm good. Oh, this is too perfect. So as she does, she slaps her hand over his mouth and nose, and then pulls it away. And it's very clear he has no mouth, he has no nose, he has no way to breathe.
And there is muffled shouting underneath that person's throat.
Not that he can make much noise. You have about as much time as it takes for him to run out of air for this conversation. You're going to want to start settling down, or you're going to wing yourself and you're not going to come back. Phil, can you get this going a little bit more? Dave, we don't have all day, and he doesn't have all minute.
I would like you to make me a charisma or manipulation and intimidation +2.
Would it technically be +3 with Faust here?
If Faust has an intimidation dot.
I think I do. Let me find out.
Let's see on what kind of bestial crit this turns into.
I have 1 dot in intimidation.
Yep. Okay, fantastic. I'm going to willpower that. 4. Dave is currently seeing something that's impossible. But we're in the dark, so it's just me and Dave and Faust at this point.
What the fuck?
He's running out of air.
Okay.
Alright.
Who
has street power?
I don't know names. I just steer clear of, and he'll start spouting off some really rough neighborhoods that you all know about, and I don't know where they are, to be quite honest. But he'll start spouting off that information because he realizes that his friend can't breathe and is in the low light is starting to go a little blue.
Next question. Who has you running in and out of the neighborhoods? Do
Me.
you work with
Just me.
You work with anyone named Dismal?
No. Who? What the fuck?
Nope. All right. Next question. I have to actually think about this one.
Don't take too long. He's running out of air.
For the purposes of this conversation, the time has paused.
Someone give me a good idea for a question.
I don't think you need to make questions at this point. You can list state demands, but
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's fair. Next up. Let's make something entirely clear, Dave. You don't like us, but from here on out, you're going to be working for us. You're going to be paid well for it, and you're going to answer to our call when we demand. The differentiation here is that you're not going to end up A, either back in jail for good, or B, well, like your friend. Or worse.
Wow. All right. Just
You're our call man,
Just
and you're going to
fuck.
answer to her.
Just fucking fix him. We'll do whatever.
All right?
I need your word.
Pinky promise. I don't give a shit.
It's at that point Maria bites into her finger. Lick it.
I'm sorry.
Let
What?
him breathe. Time's wasting. He's getting real purple right now.
Fine.
And we all know how this works. Oh, boy. I love this. And that
He-
is going to be Dominator's favor.
Okay. Is there a resist roll? Or no?
Nope. There is no resist roll. He'll openly lick the wound.
He does. I would like you to roll a wits insight.
What's inside? I was half expecting that to crit.
He does so as if he's been told that before.
Ooh. Alright. Well, let's hope that I'm pretty sure this guy's not gonna struggle to stop me from allowing him to breathe. So
No, there's no resist. He wants to breathe.
alright. I am going to do so. Opening up his mouth. I'm going to mold it back, his nose back, close as I could. And I'm gonna lean into him to whisper into his ear, and I'm gonna bite him. Take 2 points of blood, right then and there in front of him. And this should end up worrying Faust a bit, but you'll find out in a minute.
And the weaker figure, he's pretty weak after you take that much from him.
I would presume that I'm now no longer in my compulsion. I feel better about myself at this point. Would that be fair to say?
Did you do a harmful drink to this person?
No, I just basically choked him out for the past 3 minutes.
Oh, that's fair. That's valid.
It counts as torture.
Yeah. Yeah.
I waterboarded this man with his own skin.
Yeah, you did. And I would like you to take 2 stains from it.
Do I take one as being...
As a willing participant, yes.
Alright, that's fine.
That being said, Maria, I've just kind of plops him down. Dave, I know that look. You either one hell of a kinky bastard, or you done that before.
Yeah, son of a bitch.
Yeah, not me you need to be talking to, but see, right now, Phil there. Oh, sorry, I forgot what name Faust is going under.
Phil.
Yeah, Phil there might want to end up knowing that you've done that before. And might be curious as to who. We don't need to go through this whole rigmarole again, do we?
No.
No.
I was under the impression that this sort of shit should be, covered up.
You don't say anything, he ain't gonna know. Is he gonna believe anything that had just happened? Anybody who saw anything? Scuffle and a couple of the old homeless. They had taken advantage of the woman and their cat, hoping to get a little freaky. That's all. That's all anybody ever saw. But near as I can figure, you're not one of us. So technically, somebody's breaking the rules, and that ain't me. Pardon, Phil? Go ahead. She just kind of sits beside this individual, has a arm over him, kind of resting as though this has just been a night out.
So friendly question once again. Who do you answer to? Who's the big shot on the streets?
I don't answer to anyone on the streets. I told you that.
Then who do you answer to?
I don't.
So you're involved with all of this, and you don't think you answer to anyone? Who do you talk to?
I just talk to the people around me. That's all. I don't answer to anyone. I supply food to people who need it.
Dave, who do you get blood from?
I don't anymore.
How do you know anymore?
Should we talk about this somewhere else?
I think we should. She kind of gets up, places a hand on his shoulder. I think you can end up having a pretty little walk. Put your arm around my back. Make it look nice. Well, make everybody else look jealous.
And he does. Reluctantly, but he does.
Okay.
And if
Phil
you guys...
follows along. Go ahead, Coffee.
Oh, Ray just kind of looks at you both. Everything alright?
Going swimmingly. You were talking about... You said you met this fella before.
Yeah. How you doing,
you want to
Dave?
come in...
Fantastic, sweet cheeks.
Is there anything you want to join us in on?
Nah,
Alright.
I don't know what's going on.
Well, Phil just points Dave to Ray, says, "You answer to her now." Sound good?
Yeah. Sure.
Alright. In Faust's head, he was thinking Ray was always already talking to this guy, probably already trying to make that connection. So,
And Dave kind of leads you all to a secluded corner of the area. You wanted to know a name?
you did indeed.
Bjor Duval. That's the only name I knew. Happy
Your
now?
default. Does that name ring a bell to me?
Roll
Yeah.
anyone in the vicinity can roll an intelligence politics, which would be you both.
I have no politics, so I'm gonna let you guys do it.
Whew, I know nothing. Well, this looks like a mission for Noel.
Yeah,
You said intelligence politics?
yes.
Alright.
Ironically, I think it would make sense that you know this.
Yeah. It's the name of a Nosferatu who went missing back in Velda's domain.
Uh-huh. When was the last time you had any contact with Mr. Duval?
It's been over a year. He hasn't requested anything of me since, and I haven't been able to find him.
Eventually, Bryan will file this away to make sure to let the rest of the coterie know they're not likely to hear or find Mr. Duval.
That's a damn shame. But we have good news for you, David.
Fantastic.
Looks like you got your, looks like you got your fix again.
And you see that he kind of licks his lips a little bit. But there's an expression of, well, here we go again.
Don't look so disappointed. Rough meeting, but you got what you want. And if everything goes right, at least the way I figure, you're gonna be able to do a lot more than just a few cans of beans every week.
Oh, Christ.
I'm gonna expect you tomorrow night. I'll give him an address, place he wouldn't seem too out of shape, but in our domain, place we can meet again. I will expect you there.
Yeah, I know how
I'm
this
pretty
looks.
sure. Good. Now, if Phil doesn't have anything else he needs to add into this conversation, well,
No. Not quite right now. Just know we have some plans. We'll be giving you some good
Whoop-dee-doo.
work.
Yeah, I'll believe it when I see it. And
I'm sure you will.
he starts to walk away.
Faust looks over to Maria, gives a smile and a nod. Once again.
Sorry, I was a little pent up.
I understand the cause. Best to our benefit.
Are we alone now?
Ahura kind of looks around. I don't see anyone else.
Oh, quietly, I will call every one of them. Who was involved was a notable Nosferatu in Miss Belder's domain. Disappeared about a year ago. Ain't likely to be seen or heard from again.
Well,
Might be somebody for you, Ray, to ask this mall about again.
Ask about
Hmm.
somebody who's gone missing.
His mall might have more information about Duval.
but at what cost?
Apparently anything from this man comes at a cost, and he seems pretty set on getting feeding rights in our domain. So,
It's pretty typical of Nosferatu. From my experience, anyway.
mine too. I just saying it might be worth a conversation. Is all.
I don't like him.
Who likes a Nosferatu? But they do have their purposes. What I hear, they're pretty good at gathering, keeping, and finding secrets.
Yeah, but I got the secret suspicion he don't know shit about shit. But what do I know?
What do any of us know?
Well, good news. If I remember right, Ray, this was getting at some more underground contacts and getting in with the homeless was one of your key goals. It's like we got that a bit more arranged for you, right?
Yeah, but you didn't have to rough the man up. I was trying to go about it cordial-like.
You could have stepped in.
I didn't know what the
Wasn't
fuck
it-
the fuck you were doing.
Wasn't gonna get us anywhere anyway. Fact
Well,
of
at
the
this
matter, he was already stubborn. Go ahead, Brian.
at this point, any port in the storm, we take what we can get.
My thoughts exactly.
And I thought I was the bad one.
Well, let's see. There's professionalism, and then there's savagery out of survival. Big difference.
Yeah, which one of us is the former and which one is the latter?
I imagine the whole coterie is trying to just survive right now.
Where do we want to go to next? Or are we just gonna stand around here gabbing all night?
Well,
David mentioned a few other places in our domain that might be worth checking into as far as your concerns with the gangs.
gang activities, we were listed a few places. I imagine we can make some stops, and we still have Violet, who would be we would be meeting up with later.
Yeah, if you're going socializing, I'm gonna go home.
If you wish it. Speaking of, have I gotten any... What was the time specified that Violet was going to meet us? Like, is it soon? Is it coming up or no?
It's coming up fairly soon.
Okay. We'll make a point. We invited her to the coterie out, or the coterie house thing, didn't we?
Yeah, you
The
did.
cottage.
Yes.
Cool. So I suppose we head back to the cottage. I need a bathroom break.
Yes,
All right.
we will pause for a break. So don't go anywhere, everyone. We will be right back with more San Antonio by Night Aftermath. Welcome back, everyone, to San Antonio by Night Aftermath, Season 2, Episode 4. The Iconoclasts have gathered themselves back together in their shared home to meet and socialize with an individual that they have requested the appearance of, as well as maybe some other things, such as asking questions of any of their coterie mates. But this is where we find the five. Noel is still in his room reading. He's got something going on. Who even knows what at this point? Ray is gonna be headed up towards her room to avoid all of the socializing that's going to be going on. She's not entirely a fan of socializing, but maybe she's got something else up her sleeve. Who knows? But here you are, all of you.
Wonderful. So we made it back. Everything's looking smoothly. We're just waiting on Miss Rousing. So, tell me, Bryan. You seem to understand some of the kindred in the area. You've heard of Bure. Are you local, perhaps? No. You're not. You came from another city, I remember that.
I'm a transplant. As Samantha said, from Dallas. I've only been in the area about a year. Before that, my time was spent in Dallas. Gentlemen, you were not present to me. I guess you could say he's like my kindred daddy, Mr. Chisholm. Wonderful man. But no, I'm not a native of this area.
See. Was it under Mr. Chisholm that you met more of the kindred around here, or is that all you?
No, that was on my own. As to the events going on in Dallas, I came out here ahead of Mr. Chisholm. I'm supposed to be setting up domain, if possible, in Miss Zventgal's domain. And,
Oh yeah, she said you get.
but we know how.
Benji said you got kicked out.
Yeah, that's where I met y'all.
Oh, nice. Well, interesting. It's good to know you have at least some folks you are aware of. It gives us some frame of reference on the occasion. We all know someone, inevitably. Coincidentally, I'm also from Dallas. I similarly fled because of the occasions down there.
Yeah. Not too hospitable anymore, where I kind. So,
Faust,
Byron's are.
stairs. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say our new environs don't seem that much more hospitable, but definitely lacking in the hostilities that we were getting in Dallas. So take what you can get when you can get it, where you can get it.
I agree. Faust stares at Bryan inquisitively. What'd you leave behind?
Nothing. You mean in this existence or the one before?
Either or. What'd you leave
If
behind
you're
in
talking
Dallas?
about, oh, before I was turned, I believe is the phrase. Rather lucrative career in the oil industry.
Oh. Are you working the rigs, or you're yourself a businessman?
Oh, I've worked on the rigs, but again, as I said, a rather lucrative career in the oil industry.
For sure. Interesting.
They pay big money for people with geology degrees.
And Faust, you can see sort of like these gears turning behind his eyes just a bit. So then that's primarily the major career that you've been doing. It's actually pretty impressive.
Majority of my life. That's also what I went to college for.
It's fantastic. Degree getting takes you places, I suppose. Though, didn't expect this too much, I'm sure.
Did you expect this?
Yes and no.
You expected to become what you are.
I expected to become something.
Hmm.
One of the undead wasn't really what I thought in mind, though.
Yeah, last thoughts that ever crossed my mind. No. No, I had other aspirations before this existence came. We are what we are, and we have to deal with what we've got. Can't play any other cards. the ones you're dealt.
It's true. The nice thing is that some things carry over.
Glad to know that I still retain my knowledge and my memories, but learning these new things takes time.
Hey, you'll get the hang of it. Anyway, if there's nothing else from me, I'm done socializing for the night.
Be well, Ray.
Need anything, I'll be in my room. And she's off to go do whatever it is that Ray does.
Faust looks over to Bjorn, or no, he's out here, right?
Well, he's in his room, sitting in his chair, reading a book, but his door's open.
And Faust makes a point to go and communicate to him. He's interested in learning about what happened to Bjorn and what areas he traversed. What was his domain?
Bjorn Duval. Can't say much. He was a Nosferatu in von Schwenk-Gauss-Altenberg's domain and went missing about a year ago. And no one's heard from him since, and so it's assumed that he was lost to the Camarilla when they were here. I believe there's a whole memorial in that domain commemorating those who have been lost. I haven't been.
Sounds like something worth visiting.
Been meaning to. Amber Dupree runs it, I think, if I remember right.
Perhaps we can get in contact with her.
Dupree?
Why not? I'm interested in seeing the memorial.
Well, she's kind of hard to get in contact with these days. She's kept a pretty low profile. From what I understand, anyway.
Is the memorial public? Ish.
To Kindred. Yes. It's at the Silverhorn Golf Club. That's up at in von Schwenk-Gauss-Altenberg's domain on the very north side.
Well, I think it'd be a good time as any to make another visit. I said she was planning on making a point to visit. What was it? Benji? Planning on visiting him again.
Uh-huh.
Perhaps with an invite we can all make a venture.
Right, to make friends with the host so we can find Erie and Doyle, right?
You got it.
I mean, it's worth a shot. It's very curious.
Well, I don't see any other sort of plans to get into that area without more initiative, I suppose. Let's just make it a innocent enough trip. Get information, maybe make friends. We'll plan it another night, of course. Expecting company.
Right. Well, I've got more studying to do, but, need anything?
Nope. Just needed your expertise once again. Thank you, Mr. Stoneford.
That's what I'm here for.
Faust returns to everyone else and just speaks on it. Explains that Duval was within oh god. I remembered it and then I forgot it over the short break we had.
Baron Velda Dispenska of Altenburg.
Du Altenburg. Yes. Baron.
When it used
Baron
to be Delgado's domain.
Right. We'll go ahead and we'll have some. I explained that we're like gonna have like the innocent reasons. Go check out the memorial. Look into Bryan. Kind of like. I don't think you'll be able to make the trip, but I do expect that Mr. Stoneford, Ray, and myself will make the venture within specific reasonings. Maria, if you would like to join us as well for that venture, you're welcome.
Always good to end up knowing what's going through your heads.
Well, I could stay here, or Maria and I could take some time and let her work her magic, and I might be able to join y'all.
Perhaps.
And that's when you hear there's a knock on the door.
I'll get it.
Thank you.
Bryan will take a seat.
And Maria, when you open the door, a familiar face, the face of Miss Violet Rousing, appears in front of you. Oh, good evening.
And a good evening to you. Please, won't you end up coming into my boat?
Oh, thank you. And she goes to step inside.
Ms. Rousing. I
Mr.
certainly do
Bovary?
hope you've been. Certainly hope you've been keeping well.
Oh, of course.
Excellent. I was a little concerned about everyone's safety, considering the commotions that occurred.
Yes. Speaking of which, is that finished?
As of right now, it's contained.
Contained.
Primary contained. We neutralized the main threat. However, we're uncertain if there's additional outreaches at this moment.
I see. I suppose that explains the memo that nearly everyone in every domain's gotten. Lay low unless you need to pop your head out.
It would be best to, yes.
But you called me out here for a very specific reason, I would imagine.
Yes. Regarding that individual, Leslie, was it?
Yes, my child.
Have you received any additional outreach or details on that?
No. I haven't heard from her. But she never talked to me very much to begin with.
I understand. We haven't exactly had the opportunity to follow up on that. So I wanted to have an offer. Once again, we go ahead and do a check-in for you. We have some connections through those groups. Smaller folks.
I'm not sure I get your meaning.
Is your child... Faust just takes his hands and, like, leads them all up and point, kind of like open palms up toward the ceiling, like, oh. Or are they like the other ones who, well, can still look kind of human?
Oh. Oh, I get, I get what you're meaning now. Thin blood.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, we were investigating some cases. Anyways. It was distressing, but we've heard maybe that there might be particular interest in moving the Thin Bloods. I believe you posted specifically. That the Second Inquisition group, as we call them.
Right. I'm sorry, what's your question? You're asking if Leslie was taken by them.
I'm posing the possibility that they might have. In that scenario, it gives Rising cause to learn a little bit more about her circumstances. We're wanting to help you. More specifically, we're wanting to make sure that this doesn't... anything involving this threat doesn't get out of hand any more than it has.
Believe me, that thought has crossed my mind. And I have been using whatever pull I do have to look into it without drawing too much attention, and from what I understand, she may have just disappeared. There's no... Now, unless she made it to Sanctuary, which I don't know why she would. Nobody there would take her, I don't think.
Why's that? I thought that was...
It is a haven, but she has history with them.
Rivalries?
You could say that.
Very well.
And she wouldn't come back to me because we had a falling out, so... She's either left the city, or she's gone. And I have no evidence of which.
Perhaps we can investigate on that.
I've been doing so myself. What more could you do?
Well, I do have some contacts at my disposal here.
As do I.
Individuals who are more versed with private investigation.
I know private security.
Well, that's understandable. Have you had the opportunity to go check out at Sanctuary?
I do have a good rapport with them. Or at least I did for a little while. It's been a while since I've made any contacts. And I've talked with Amber and with Velda. Neither of them really particularly like me. But I have
Maybe
talked to them about it. They're aware. At the very least.
we were interested in going to investigate there anyways. We've got a couple vested interested in getting to know a little bit more about the host.
What do you want to
seem
know
to
about
be-
the host?
Seems as though they have some sort of history with a legend.
A legend. You mean the
feel
War
like-
Baron?
That would be accurate, yes.
I can tell you that many of them will tell you the same thing. They haven't seen him for a year.
During
why-
your time with them, did you happen... Go ahead. My apologies.
And why should they say anything? If it's the
Because
War
if we
Baron's wish
have-
to stay below ground and stay out of sight and out of mind, then why dredge it up?
Because if we have our hands, we may need a miracle or legend to try and fix it.
And do you think that this is something that the War Nidbits should garner the War Baron's attention? Is it really that serious?
Well,
So far as-
considering the fact that they set me on fire and knew precisely how to fight us, yes.
Yes, that is how Operation Daybreak works. They know a lot of the vulnerabilities of Kindred. But
Mr. Rowling, they're here.
and you said you took out most of the major threats, so I don't see what the problem is.
We took out the major threats within Marjani's domain.
If there were more, I
We-
would know.
Would you?
I would, actually. Some of my clients are really very powerful military sources.
And how long did Daybreak go beneath the eyes of Detroit? Unsettled and untouched before it escalated. How far deep did it worm its way into the society there?
Are you accusing me of something?
What I'm questioning... You say you have sources and contacts, but would they really speak to you about it?
Oh, they would. Trust me.
See, I thought that too. But they're trained.
I know what I'm looking for, Mr. Beaufort. Do you?
I've got a clear-cut idea.
Do you, though?
Considering I've dealt with one directly now.
Do you know what they do? Do you know how they operate? Do you know what they know? Or are
That
you
begs the
guessing?
question- That begs the question you do.
I know enough I know enough to stay out of the way.
Then be our guest. Share with the class. If it's pertinent information that protects the whole of Kindred Society, I'm rather curious and invested in knowing why it's a secret.
They're an undercover operation, Mr. Beaufort. Many of the things that they do know are things that they keep secrets. And the one person that I knew back in Detroit who had all of that information, I don't know if he's still alive.
So you're accusing me of guessing when you yourself are guessing?
No, I'm not. I know what they're capable of.
Then share with the class. What are they capable of?
They are capable.
What should we be looking for?
Flash fires. They're capable of flash fires and ingraining themselves into the military, and have done so in Detroit. And that is when I left.
Can I make an insight on this?
You may.
Right.
Also, make an insight check.
Go for it. Separate rolls.
Insight.
Yep.
Right. Insight. Just insight, or?
Yeah, charisma wits insight.
I'm scared to roll because, bluntly, we haven't had a roll without a crit though thus far. I think I might have had one.
Can I
be asking for it?
What do I add for my specialty?
You would only add one.
Reading body language. One. Right.
She is calm. She is cool. She is collected. And she is very, very persuasive. And she's pretty, too. Which kind of goes a long way in some of the things that she's saying.
Very well.
Do you suspect I would have a reason to lie to you?
No. But I suspect that maybe you would withhold information to protect something. Whether that be yourself or...
Not about this. Absolutely not about this. Because the safety of this city means the safety of myself, which means I don't have to move again. Because that would be a real shame. Doable, but a real shame.
Well then, Miss Rousing, considering that it's the remainder of our leads here, cordially, I'd like to invite you to join us to go and make a polite visit to Sanctuary.
The Sanctuary?
Perhaps we can get an idea of what's going on. Maybe Leslie is there, if she passed through. I was intending to go visit the memorial anyways.
The memorial's on the north side of town. Sanctuary's smack dab in the middle.
Well, can all be in one trip.
I don't know what kind of reputation you have amongst them, but they generally don't welcome outsiders.
I'm not sure what kind of reputation we've been working with up until this point, but outsiders we've been. And
Exactly.
Faust just smiles at her.
Given what the whole city knows about you? It sounds to me like you're asking for me to vouch for you.
If it's within your interest, certainly.
What incentive is there?
Well, at the very least, us getting in there means you don't have to poke your head in directly. And given your express want to keep your head down, isn't it better somebody else poke their head out the gopher hole rather than yourself?
You made it make a very good point. But I could just send Samantha.
Yeah, but if you did that, then I'd be tagging along guaranteed on that. So the end result's the same. But then you'd be sticking two heads out the gopher hole, one of which you can actually end up having some say over. So then you'd be losing out yourself. Why put your own at risk? Your own interest seems to be trying to keep your head down, and I have to presume that if you sent Samantha, that implies that you can end up here getting her to do what you need, which unto itself, if that was suddenly lost, is something you might not appreciate none if everything goes, well, all crooked like a corkscrew. So,
Well, those amongst the ministry must maintain their own.
precisely. And I think what, I don't mean to be speaking on Mr. Beaufort's behalf, but I think what he's trying to get at is it's in your best interests, at the very least, to end up here sending us on out there and have things go swimmingly. At the very least, to end up figuring out if these reports have any bearing out there.
Now, see, the exact invitation was for me to join you.
True, but you're hesitant, so.
I am.
So you have no interest in that, right?
Generally speaking.
But you're still curious, or you wouldn't have shown up, right?
I was asked because Mr. Beaufort had a request. Is this the request?
Mr. Beaufort.
I was more interested in finding out if you were all right. That it led to here. That was of interest.
Your altruism is heartwarming.
Maybe I have vested interest in finding where Leslie went.
What does she mean to you? We know what she means to me, but what does she mean to you?
If she ended up getting involved in any of this, then that's a lead. If not, then I suppose there's nothing left to go off of. Not until it rears its ugly head again.
And we don't necessarily want that.
I like to imagine that military operations typically stay on the down low in isolated circumstances. It's like he twirls his hand around, like a mold or an infection. You don't expect it at first. You don't anticipate it, and you're not able to detect it. But over time, in a hidden place, in a hidden location, it'll start to grow. It's a typical war tactic, actually. It's very, expected war tactic. You don't... The thing is that you don't rely on your primary and frontline forces to infiltrate somewhere and take over a country or a kingdom. What you do is you try to sway those that are within it. There's a suggestion that there's a leak. Someone, somewhere, is feeding information to a very isolated, coordinated group. And the longer we wait, the more this is going to get armed. And I would rather not have everything on fire.
Neither would I.
Hopefully we can work together on this, Miss Rousing.
Oh, absolutely.
You think you can make this vouch for us?
I still fail to see the connection.
The connection is, if they were going to start an infiltration, the best place would be among the Thin Bloods. They already look human, and they're easy to control.
They were also the first to be destroyed in Detroit. So I can't fault your logic. So, I suppose that I could what would be a good thing to do, though? Because putting in a good word for you means I'm just risking my neck. I like you. Don't get me wrong, I like you. But I don't want to upset Baron Velda von Drent-Gazu-Altenberg. Nor do I necessarily want to upset the low-birth solution. Or the host, for that matter.
How about this? Give me one moment while I look into a thing. Ugh. Ugh.
The one thing you could possibly try, which has become the low birth solution's more or less public meeting place, is Club Lush.
That's Ava's domain, right?
No, that's not in Ava's domain. That's in Sanctuary.
That's in Sanctuary. Okay. Club Lush. That's an interesting start.
It's kind of adorable. You know, for a club that's been rebuilt in the last year.
Interesting. You have sway in that location?
I don't have sway.
I suppose it's not a problem to check it out regardless.
I try to stay out of all of their business. I have my own to run.
Understood. Who does run it? Is it just the low birth solution?
All 5 of them.
5?
Yes. So far as I recall,
5 who?
5 members.
Curiosity, do you happen to have their names? Just so we're not missing out on any.
There's
Unperceived.
There's Alfonso Hendrick. There's Gabriel Suarez. There's Carlos Vives. They're the 3 that are typically found around there running the place. The other 2 are part of the coterie as overseers. Doc and Fox.
What you're saying is we should make sure to make some sort of contact with the first 3.
Alfonso is the ambassador to the Thin Bloods, after all.
Oh. Fantastic to know. Very well. We'll give you some more information later if we come up with anything.
But what's in it
Quick.
for me? Me specifically, not the city at large.
Well, let's see. Next month you need... Would you like to have a business location?
I already have one, thanks.
Mr. Buford, might I make a suggestion?
Please.
Miss Rousing,
It takes.
I know what kind of establishment, and there is a obvious need for particular employees, the right look, the right feel.
Mhm.
But you got to run around and make things work out, hoping you eventually run across the right person. What if I were to make the suggestion that it's possible that you could have that all fixed up in a single evening? Take whoever it is that you think isn't quite cutting it, elevate them up to proper standards. I think you're quite aware of what I might be capable of. I'm pretty sure I'm the only one in this entire, city that could accommodate such a request. And after all, Mortals do get old. Shame to lose a proper employee. The grandfather clock.
My business caters to the rich of this city.
That's right. But trying to end up finding the right type of person who can give them their exact wants and needs, that's tricky. You don't always run across it on the street now, do you? Hell,
Not always.
you might even need to bring it in from out of town, maybe across the ocean, I imagine, if you're particularly widespread. I'm telling you of a local solution, one that doesn't cost you much more than a couple hours of your evening and them being willing to start over. It's something that no one else can offer.
Color me intrigued.
You want him a redhead? We can make him a redhead. You want to end up making him 6 feet tall? Hell, we can make him 8 feet tall if you wanted to.
Hmm.
Whatever you need, one-time deal. Just you giving a simple nod and say, give the kids a chance. If they screw it up, they screw it up. That's on them. And for the rest of that individual's lifetime, you get something that's truly one of a kind. Crafted your exact specifications to the best of my abilities within their we can talk the details, but
Hmm.
if you need an example, I could certainly do so.
That is quite intriguing. I can't say that I've ever done business with a Zamisi before.
I don't like to end up using it as a point of business, but right now, Mr. Buford needs to have a yes from you. Yourself want to end up keeping yourself low, so it needs to be worth the risk. So, you, the risk seems to be worth a one of a kind opportunity.
Tempting. I can see why Samantha rubs off on you.
Sammy's been a very, very intriguing girl, but she doesn't have much bearing on this exact conversation between you and Faustus. I just thought I'd sweeten the pot a little bit.
Tempting. Very tempting.
We make like a group persuasion check or something.
Yeah.
Oh,
Charisma, persuasion, and since it's been Maria and Faust in the conversation, I would only allow a +1.
Brian was about to say, if you need a demonstration, and allow Maria to do whatever it is she does.
Okay, who's leading it? Probably me. Charisma persuasion?
Yeah, charisma persuasion would be the roll.
+1?
+1, and you're not at a disadvantage for your status.
Yay. And I'll go ahead and use willpower because I can. And I get to actually roll 3 dice. Yay.
Yay. Not bad. Not bad at all. She kind of cocks her head, kind of looking you up and down, looking at Maria.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
My computer just shut down. I don't know. Everything's froze.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, well, you're coming through.
Okay.
And she smiles. Okay. Okay. I can work with that. I can work with that. Consider it done.
Excellent. Happy to have your assistance, Miss Rousing.
Happy to have your friendship.
Faust smiles. It's a little foxish kind of grin. He takes a moment to peek over at Maria. He's thinking to himself primarily about how he's going to start moving people and what connections we've made today to make sure that this coterie is fed.
Well, if you'll excuse me, I have some phone calls to make.
Very well. Thank you for joining us this evening, Miss Rousing. You
And
take care.
Thank you for inviting me. I look forward to further pursuit of our friendship. And she goes towards the door, pulls out her phone, and begins to dial a number, getting into her car and driving away.
Maria, you're exceptional at that.
Just trying to do what I can.
It's appreciated.
I just hope I don't come to regret it.
We'll keep everything secure and as cordial as possible. Through this process, I want to make sure that you stay fed.
She stands up, starts walking to the door. I gotta go talk to Sammy. Maybe you two can figure it out. I don't know. I gotta end up getting ready and talk to Dave. She puts her jacket on. You two organize the details. Get Noel and Ray involved if you can. I'll be back before sun.
And with
Be
that,
safe. Go ahead.
and with that, Maria leaves out the door.
Can somebody catch me up on what just happened in the last 5 minutes? Because Discord did something and it shut my entire computer down and I've missed the conversation.
Maria exchanged her ability to manipulate faces so that Miss Rousing has pretty employees. And in exchange, she's going to go ahead and give us the good words so that we can actually go in and investigate Club Lush and Sanctuary.
Okay.
In the meantime, Faust, Bryan, what are you going to do as Maria has left to go and have a chat with Samantha?
Well, Bryan, I have no other plans for tonight. Everything else is reserved for tomorrow.
My plans would include on working with Nicole on what I told Maria I would do.
Working with Nicole.
Yes.
Which she's around. She hasn't really made her presence known or very visible, but she's around.
Training for what?
Starting her training. Teaching
Just-
her how to defend herself.
Ah.
Building her up.
This is gonna come off as a bit estranged, but would you mind if I tagged along?
Not at all.
Wonderful. Maybe perhaps I can learn a bit. If you don't mind.
Not at all. You're welcome to join me.
Wonderful. Well then, lead the way.
And the two of you would find that Nicole is already in the basement, already exercising. She looks like she's worn out, and she looks like she's maybe been doing this all day long.
Okay. So she's just been working out with the landscape timbers, as I told her, instructed her on.
Yep.
For now.
She's been doing workout. It looks like there is plenty of food down here, as far as like containers and garbage and things that indicate that maybe she's ate all of this in a day.
That is possible.
And she is sweating like mad, but she is not stopping.
Tell her to stop for a minute. She needs to hydrate.
No.
With as much as she's sweating.
I need to keep going.
You also need to hydrate and take care of yourself, or you're just going to pass out from exhaustion.
I've been doing so.
Well, I will tell her to stop the workout for a moment. Time to start going through the forms. I will instruct her on proper placement of her feet and tell Faust as well, and begin the basics. Just get the feel of it. Bend at your knees like you're sitting in a chair. Keep your hips over your ankles. Keep your shoulders over your hips. Keep your head straight up. Every inch forward, you tilt your head forward or backwards. You double the weight of your head. Put more stress on your neck. Misalign your body.
Is this gonna help me bulk up?
Well, this will help you in another way. This will help you keep your flexibility.
Okay.
This will help you learn how to defend yourself as well.
From what?
Should someone try to attack you, you might have a chance to fend for yourself. Defend yourself. get both of them to start moving in a figure eight motion, taking your knee and tracing the outside of your foot, coming back with the opposite leg and tracing your outside of your foot to the inside. Just learn to move with this motion. The intent is to be like water, flexible, movable, malleable, but with the same intent and power as to crush and move mountains.
And she nods and follows your instructions to the letter.
I will continue teaching the basics of the base form. Move your arms in a circular motion. Left arm over the right arm. Like you're turning a wheel. Counterclockwise. Feel the energy around, not only in your body, but the energy around you flowing the same.
I would like
As
you
if
both.
you.
I would like you both to make a wits medicine.
Oh, God.
Oh,
I have no medicine, so it's all wits.
Faust, you see it before Bryan does. Nicole looks like she's gonna pass out.
hey. And Faust just holds up his hands. Whoa there. Hey, honey, you're not looking too good.
You need to rest.
And that's when she collapses.
Oh damn. Oh shit. Okay. Faust gets down, checks her pulse. That is the bare minimum that he knows how to do.
She's she's not in danger of dying, but she's pretty weak. She's trying to get back up, but she's having trouble getting up.
Oh,
Nicole, you need to lay down. You need to rest.
No, I need to keep going.
When was the last time you ate anything?
Earlier, about a half an hour ago. I need to keep going. Maria's gonna be disappointed in me. I have to keep going.
She's gonna be more disappointed if you end up dying from exhaustion, honey. Look, how about this, Nicole?
Brian's gonna go get a bottle of water or a towel and get it wet, wrap it around her neck.
You've been
Get
at this
one to
for
put on her forehead.
You've been at this for a few hours. You'll take a break for now.
No, I can't take breaks.
You have to.
Maria said the next thing you need to do is take a rest. We'll pick up with Bryan when you're not about to pass out.
That is a flat out lie. I need you to roll me a manipulation subterfuge.
It is a flat out lie. I'm not worried about lying.
And she believes you. So she's huffing heavily, She nods at you. Okay.
Here. Do you have a room already? As Maria provided you a room in here.
Uh-huh.
All right. We're gonna slowly get up. We're gonna get you back to your room. You're just gonna rest as long as you need.
Bryan will pick her up and carry her to her room.
And Maria said it's okay?
Maria said it's okay.
Okay. And she will trust you and be led into her room, which is Maria's room. But gets into the bed and just kind of lies there for a while.
When she's in the bed, Bryan's gonna go get some food and water, bring to her to make sure she eats and has some hydration.
Which she will take happily.
Making a mental note to need to talk to Maria about something else as well.
Once that's all done, Faust just closes the door slowly in the room. He turns to Bryan and just quietly whispers, I don't think Maria would be too happy if Nicole died.
Maria's gonna be none too happy if she works herself to death.
No good to her dead. Ugh.
Which reminds me, we need to discuss with Maria later on how she's worded whatever it is she's worded to this young girl, that she needs to take care of herself as well. That's conversation for later, though. But if you would like, we can go back down to the basement and I can continue showing what it was that Maria was doing till she pushed herself to the point where she gonna hurt herself. The basics of strength building and the body mechanics, as well as the base form for Tai Chi.
Yes. I'd very much like to know a little bit more about that. Was curious, actually.
Mm-hmm.
I was wondering if maybe you had a little bit more concept on, grapples or immediate self-defense.
There's a lot we can get into. It just depends on your understanding of the mechanics. Without the proper mechanics, the rest doesn't really matter.
I don't trust your expertise on that.
I mean, in a basic self-defense, he can start showing you certain things you can do. And no matter who you are, human or kindred, it's gonna hurt. He did teach women's self-defense classes, so beyond just the basics of body mechanics, he can show you certain holds, ways that being a woman you have advantage with you are a male. Forget this. It still works. Not quite the same, but similar mechanics. Put his arm around you basically from behind, and one of the basic techniques, in step, you just stomp down as hard as you can, hit him in the groin.
All right.
Whatever you have at your disposal, your foot, your elbow, your hand, and once they're down, grab their head, smash it with your knee.
And thankfully, the body mechanics of Kindred is that they don't get tired. So Bryan and Faust could go into that for the rest of the night if they so wish.
fine with that.
There is one thing I wanted to test.
Mm.
It's out of curiosity, Bryan.
Mm-hmm.
If you could. This is gonna sound really weird, but could you punch me? Just do it as
Okay.
hard as you can. And Faust is
Okay.
gonna I'm gonna use toughness. Rousing for toughness.
All right.
You're welcome to rouse for toughness.
It is roused.
It is.
All right.
Don't go easy on me.
Oh, I'm not.
And Bryan,
So-
I would like you to make a strength brawl
With my specialty?
with your specialty, because that's the fighting style you would use.
Is that a 1?
Yes, it is. Okay, so that is 5. What is your fortitude rating, Faust?
My fortitude rating is 2.
Okay, 5 minus 2 is 3, half to 2. You take
Oh,
2 points
God.
of superficial health damage. And that's a messy crit, and it is as if he is going to rip your hand right off of your wrist. It feels like he is going to, regardless of how tough you think you are, this man is a beast. His fangs pop, and it feels like his grip is going to rip your wrist to shreds if he goes any further. You kind of cower away, and your wrist is very crushed.
Yeah. Faust just looks at his wrist, and strangely enough, it looks cracked. No. It's just veins. Probably, but he grips his hand. Oh, God.
If you were a human, it would be broken.
If I were a human, I'm pretty sure the whole damn forearm would have been broken. In 8 places.
Maybe.
Man. Yeah, I was thinking. You said you could fight. Wasn't thinking I should be as scared of you as I am of Ray. Damn.
And he will chuckle. He's not scared of any of y'all.
Powerhouses. Well, I mean, the good news is I didn't immediately pass out from that, so.
It's not broke. I wouldn't use it for the rest of the night, but we can still continue with the training.
And that kind of feeds into how you're feeling right now. You kind of want to beat him into a pulp and gloat about it. You're under the dominance compulsion.
Well then. We could definitely continue, but.
You just want to put this little weaselly Ventro into his place.
I'm in the dominance now?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. You want to beat him up, and you want to gloat about it.
I guess it's time for a roundhouse to the head.
Okay, strength brawl.
Please don't. No.
Faust, if you want to dodge, it's a dexterity athletics.
Oh God. I'm not gonna be able to jump out of that.
Oh no.
I'm not gonna be able to get out of this regardless.
You can do a dexterity athletics. It'll at least reduce damage.
That's
Please.
true.
Because he is sitting on a 6 right now.
Ugh. God damn it.
So that 6 minus 2 is 4, half to 2 again. Ooh, this guy's tough. He
Yeah.
is absolutely a monster when he wants to be, and you're seeing it plain as day on his face. He is ready. He is ready to beat you right into the ground.
What are you doing? Stop. Stop it, please. I'm done. I'm good. I get the point.
My beast is still running this, right?
You're not in frenzy. You can stop.
Okay. Yes, there is a grin on his face. He's not trying to hide that at all. You do see his fangs.
You see his fangs. He's grinning. And ooh, that vitae smells delicious.
He takes a long, deep breath. Center himself.
You
Goes
can't.
back into his meditation as best as he can to try and hold this back. He doesn't want to hurt this person as much as he wants to eat it. And he doesn't want to hurt Faust.
Ooh, that ventru vitae smells so delicious, though. It tastes powerful. It smells powerful. It smells sweet.
As long as I'm in control, I'm going to stand here and stay in this pose.
You have control of your beast. You are not at the risk of getting hunger frenzied. But damn, does it smell like a delicious dessert.
The enticement and the need for the physical outlet has finally found a small form of release, but it's
Still there.
it's not going to go away. I'm going to still be under dominance for now
Mm-hmm.
for the compulsion. But as long as I'm in control, he's just going to stand back and you can see he's working hard to control himself.
And you are so distracted by this that anything else that you attempt to do is at a -2 penalty.
I get that, and I'm totally focused on trying to control the beast and
And you
not harm Faust.
have control.
And that's
you're
all
standing
I'm
there,
doing.
You're standing there stoically. And Faust, he has done exactly as you have asked. He has stopped.
Faust gets up, brushes himself off, looks behind him as when he was kicked, he was flung across the room and definitely crashed into some furniture.
You're
And
pretty
can
sure
see
your
now.
spine's cracked in a couple of places and your jaw feels off.
God damn it. I think that's enough training for tonight.
So we hit. And you hear him growl it under his breath, almost inaudibly.
And Faust, you are free to leave, unless Bryan says otherwise.
I will let her leave.
Him.
Him, sorry. I will let Faust leave.
Faust leaves, takes his jacket, and goes back out. As he's leaving the cottage, slams the door.
And with that, Faust has left the house.
Is the compulsion going away?
Nope, you're still under it until you resolve it.
I have no idea how to resolve this.
I do.
In the meantime, Maria has made her way towards China Grove, where Samantha lives. towards her house, and she's already greeted and allowed you in, as this is basically a second home to you.
Yeah, well, very grateful to end up having a place. Still, Sammy calling me out, that's definitely new. Still, when I end up coming in, take a seat. Don't say much. Kind of just look her over.
She doesn't say anything just yet. She stays standing for a moment. I appreciate what you did for Stray.
Yeah.
As I would imagine you want answers.
Part of it. Be honest with you, Sammy, I'm just trying to keep you safe and out of it.
I know. And I appreciate that. And if you hadn't have stepped in, Stray would likely have been dragged off somewhere.
Yeah. Now I gotta settle up with Carnage over that.
Yeah. I would imagine he's kind of upset.
Yeah, I would end up saying that would probably be the best way to describe it. And he's gonna take it out on my hide.
How can I make it up to you?
Can't. That's the truth of it, Sammy. He's gonna try and find. You won't find him again. Stray's gone. And all I can do is give him some chance at a new one. But it's gonna be under a watchful eye and a lot of the things. I know Stray said they're not gonna snitch or anything like that.
He's not the type that would.
But I can't take that chance, no.
And I get it.
I'm seeing things right now, Sammy.
Like what?
Today I got so angry watching we were chasing down one bum and having to shake him down for information, and I just was angry about it. And I took it out on one of his companions just to get information out of him. Turned out he was somebody else's back in the day. They're not a factor anymore, near as I can figure.
I see.
But I had to be utterly ruthless. That's what I'm becoming. Ruthless. Such a short period of time, I have changed so much, Sammy. Maybe it's because you were keeping me isolated from all this. Maybe this is what happens with my kind when we're out on our own.
You ever wish you could take it back?
Sounds like you have something on your mind.
I sometimes wish I could take it back. And Stray proves that that's real.
I haven't seen before and after. I'm currently just operating on your word.
I know.
I
But
know.
a year ago, his sire died. And poof, he's human again. I wouldn't wish that on Marjani, but I mean, I don't know.
You sure that's what did it? I hear that kind of talk's a folk's tale.
It's rather coincidental. He said it was this couple of days after he changed back. He heard that
You sure he ever was?
I don't know how to tell.
I know somebody who can end up making you think that that was possible. I know somebody who could convince you right now that you and me were sisters.
Wouldn't really change anything.
No. But you think you had a... You think you were one of me. Maybe you just weren't practiced enough. Coming back from it, though, what do you think changed it? You sure that it was the removal of the sire? Think that what I go out there and I hunt myself a monster and I'll be back amongst the living again?
I don't know.
I don't either, Sammy.
It does sound like a lot of hocus pocus.
I think I'm just scared to hope, to be honest with you, Sammy.
Me too. I don't know. I just miss my family, that's all.
They in the city.
They live north side. And I've been like this long enough that I should have aged by now.
If you can go see him, what would you really do?
Probably beg forgiveness for getting mixed up in all of that. Because from their perspective, I got mixed up in a cult.
Well, they ain't far off.
No, that's true. I don't know. It's just a question.
Maybe someday you get to sit by him and keep your mouth shut. Maybe they'll never know. But you'll know. And that's important. Not as important, but it would be important. I guess we don't get much of an opportunity to grieve for ourselves.
No. Usually kind of thrown into the thick of things and watch and see what happens. how most fledglings come about. And do as anyone might to try and steer them on the right path, they're still their own creature, making their own mistakes.
Yeah.
There are days that I wish that I was human again, and then there are days that I wish that I was just like Marjani or you or anyone else.
Anybody but you, right?
Anything but a thin blood.
Sammy, I can change just about anything I want out of you. And I'll be honest with you. I could spend all day, use a whole person worth of blood working on it. And in the end, it wouldn't change a goddamn thing what's going on in your head or your heart. I know. Changed more times in this past month than I have all year.
It's good that you're kind of practicing. So, it's a bit strange.
I do more. I want to keep doing it. Because right now, it's the closest thing to me being what I am. Somehow I gotta factor God into the equation. Yeah, Carnage said something funny.
Oh,
What we carry is curse of Cain. Like, curse by God put on to Cain for the murder of his brother. And that in turn is passed on to his child. And their childless child.
It's
All
one
the way
of-
down.
it's one of many vampire creation myths.
He's pretty certain there is no myth to it.
He's a
Sounds
religious
about-
fanatic.
Says the girl who signed on with a cult. Don't you go choking on me.
Yes, many would consider the ministry a cult. Because they do believe in a different kind of creation myth.
Either
We
way,
do.
no, you said they. You don't believe it. You might say you do, but you don't. Correcting yourself.
I've been questioning it of late. But I think that's the point.
I think God will be ashamed of what I've become. I don't need to think, and I know it. And the worst part is I don't think there's any way for me to make it right. We're damned, after all. Carrying Cain's curse for murdering his brother in our veins. Damned from the light of God. Walking amongst the night, feeding on his children.
Or
So much-
descended from a god. Depending what you believe.
You think that we would end up being descended from a god, we have to hide in basements and cellars and crypts and sewers away for more than half a day? That sound like any god you heard of?
Not many.
I'm sorry, I'm getting snippy with you.
No, it's fine.
No, it's not. Sammy, I damn near suffocated a man today. I did so
Why?
because somebody else wasn't giving up information and we were spending too much time sitting there. I'd be in my bonnet or something, but he pissed me off something fierce, and I thought I'd take it out on his friend. Get him to loosen up and say what he needed to. Like I said, Sammy, I'm seeing on what I'm becoming. And it felt right. Felt right to take away that man's air. And watch him squirm and try and gasp through a mouth that wasn't there no more. It felt right, Sammy. And then I fed on him. And that felt right even more so. It's like when I do these things, I can forget. And the longer it goes on, the less I gotta worry. If I could just keep feeding on him just one more second. That's the worst part of it. It's not the hunger that does it for me. It's that sense of as I drink from veins and arteries. That brief moment, right? This is what it's supposed to be.
It's like drug. It's like a drug.
And I don't want to let go. And then I have to, and then all the misery that I am and that I inflict comes rushing right back. And then I look at elders, what do you call them, man? Silly.
Mm-hmm.
They treat this like no big deal. And I'm noticing I'm not caring. I'm just thinking on how to get people things. That's all they are. Things. When I go to the church, I don't. When I speak to the Father, I don't feel that sense of kinship. I don't feel like I'm part of the congregation. I'm not there. I'm not loved by my neighbors. I'm not a part of something. And instead, I feel like all he's doing is spouting empty platitudes. And yet, I know that's not what he's trying. That's how I'm receiving it. It is something inside me that has shifted. It's died a little.
That
And I don't
eventually
know
happens to all of us. I've seen several of my peers deteriorate so quickly and turn into a shell of who they used to be. I don't want that for you, Maria. I don't want you to be that empty shell. Promise me you'll be mindful.
I wish I could. I wish I could, Sam. but I'm already thinking about what needs to be done. Not blind, but in a year's time, my neighborhood will be mine truly. And I'm gonna make sure that anybody who steps in is quite aware on whose turf they're on. I'm not gonna let a single thing happen on there that isn't without my say-so. It's mine. Marjani might think it's hers, but as soon as it was given to me, it was like divine intervention. Finally, ended up coming into my life. That's when I felt God. Wasn't in a church. It's when I looked out of that rickety old house, and I knew that these streets were mine. It was the same feeling being close to God you get every time you feed.
I don't think Marjani's going to be particularly happy if you take it away from her.
She's not gonna think about it as me taking it away from her. So long as she still thinks that I'm under her thumb, which I guess I still am. Not like I've claimed independence or some shit. Pardon my language. But I'm gonna make sure. I'm gonna make it more. There's gonna be times where I spend hours. Every little thing out there, both man and beast, will end up doing as I say, and will be what I need them to be. I think of the possibilities of what I can do, and it's terrifying, but another line.
It's tempting.
You know, I've been told a lot of things called fiends, stokers, voivodes. There was one that rung true to me. One that made me think. And I think I'm starting to get it. I'm starting to feel it. Call us dragons. Kind of reminds me of that whole story. What was it? The Hobbit?
Smaug.
Yeah, that was one. I think I start to feel a bit like him. And I wonder if Dracula felt that way too. I know it's a stupid comparison. You're probably sick of me talking about that book. But
No, I I like that you're getting a lot of use out of it. And to be honest, I would imagine he feels or felt similar. Transylvania was his horde.
yeah. But I also end up wondering. The thing that killed him was hope. Hope in being reunited by across centuries of time. It's a love story turned tragic. Think about it. But the weird thing is, I'm not sure if I can feel that anymore. Kind of took myself out of the dating pool when I became this side of the morgue.
Well, it's not like it used to be. When you think about the people that are important to you, you don't love them like you used to, but you still care.
Suppose not.
You still care about what happens to them, don't you?
Yeah. Yeah, I do. So, sorry for the awkward conversation. Thanks for letting me know about Sticks. Or, pardon. Thanks for letting me know about Stray either way. And I'll be checking in on him. Time to spend the night elsewhere. And I'll be checking in on him shortly.
Again, I appreciate it. Is there anything
Stupid
you
question. Yeah, actually. Small thing.
need?
You don't happen to have any, like, cans of beans or corn or anything like that, would you?
As part of my masquerade, I tend to keep a full pantry. Why?
Mind if I raid it for a bit?
Feel free.
Well, the fact of the matter is that she kind of tries. She knows where the bags are. She starts to raid it. Fact of the matter is that right now I have been doing this as I can figure out the way that, well, pardon the pun, Cain intended it. It's been a long time since I've been a giver, doing a lot of taking. Guess I'm gonna try and risk it again.
It might do you some good.
Well, problem that I don't have the resources to be able to end up keeping it going. I'm hoping Faust will come through.
Yeah, he had some kind of financial project working in something, didn't he?
Well above my head. I just know
I mean,
that
it's
right now, until
typical of-
he's
It's typical of Blue Bloods to have that kind of thing going.
well. Till then, I gotta scrape and scrounge.
Do you need money?
Yeah, but not the kind you end up earning on paid by the hour job. You end up getting bagging groceries. She holds up the grocery bag.
I get paid a decent amount.
When it's neat. Right now, I'm just keeping my options open. I'll give my best to Stray.
All right. You need anything, just let me know.
Well, more important, you need anything.
Do I need anything? Carnage to stay off my back.
Won't promise much, but I'll give it a shot.
Yeah, he's not gonna be happy.
Not gonna be happy, but he also knows you're mine. And if there's anything Carnage respects at the very least is what happens when one of mine he gets pissed off. Starting to realize why we have that reputation after tonight.
Mm. It's a good thing he lives across town.
I'll talk. Suffice it to say, he needs, and I need to end up making sure he's calm and satiate. Till then, I gotta get going. It's gonna be an early start tomorrow.
Just be careful around him. Like I said, he's a leech.
I know.
Probably makes his own child or to feed off of them. Sick bastard.
She stops. There's... Yeah. Yeah, that's sick. Put it out of your mouth. I'll go and... She holds up the grocery bag. I gotta go take care of this.
Okay.
You have a good night, Sammy.
You too.
Appreciate the...
You take care of yourself, sis.
Oh God, somebody brainwashed you now.
No, that's a genuine feeling. She's just grinning.
Yeah, I'm getting out of there before this gets more awkward.
And with that, we will call the session for tonight. Thank you all so much for joining me in this lovely tale.
It was a very good game tonight.
I had fun.
Even though I was half unprepared.
Yeah, and Sammy just gave us the answer for Bryan.
Oh my god. Oh no.
Oh no.
Faust is just gonna start carrying a fucking cross on him, like, back down, boy. No.
She's gonna... Nobody thinks so much of Caitiff, so you might as well have the Caitiff make another Caitiff and start feeding on him.
Oh,
well, with that, we do have some stains to resolve. Do you have convictions to reduce your stains, Maria?
None that I think apply out of the two that I have.
Faust, do you have any to reduce the stains that you've taken?
Plus side, I'm a humanity 5, so I actually have a small dice pool to go with.
This was just following up on a lead, honestly, so no, I don't.
Nope. Then I would like both of you to roll your remorse checks.
How many remorse die do I roll?
I would be the number of blank spaces in your humanity tracks if you take one. Yep. Are you humanity 5? Or humanity 6?
I'm humanity 6.
Okay. Yeah. Then you did it right. Both of you feel like hot garbage about what you did. And Maria, you're glad you're feeling something about this because you haven't felt anything about anything for a long time. And you definitely feel like you crossed a line here. You crossed a line, and you're glad that you're feeling it because it means that there's still something left. It means you still care. Like Sammy said.
Chances are I'm praying this morning.
And you pray in your little cubbyhole, begging forgiveness, tracing your fingers across your rosary, all the way up until you fall asleep. Faust, you feel just as terrible, if not more so.
I don't exactly like making a hobby of harassing homeless men.
You don't.
Or, having them watch their friends asphyxiate in front of them.
Yep. Everything about that was wrong.
I'm fixated on asphyxiation, but without me, you can't breathe.
And Faust is doing whatever it is that Faust does to feel the guilt and allow himself to forgive himself at some point. But it stings. But that does bring us to our lovely little bit where we need to do who recovered willpower.
Ooh, I
I
made a
did.
couple contacts. I don't know if it's building a herd.
I have continued to not only secure the domain, but I started organizing a charity incidentally.
Yeah, you did.
Hey, well, let's start.
Yep. Bryan, did you recover any willpower by fulfilling desire or working towards your ambition?
Not that I'm aware of.
Let me check your sheet.
I'm looking at the moment.
Not quite yet.
Mm-mm.
Not quite. But that is recovered willpower out of the way. So now we move on to experience. We do things very similarly to the way that Derek does in Detroit, in that it is one for every player at the table today. So congratulations.
Yay.
And then we discuss who had the best scene, who moved the plot the furthest, and who had the best line, and vote amongst yourselves. And then Black Wolf is also going to be starting the poll for the audience favorite for tonight. So don't forget to vote in our poll, everybody. So, who moved the plot?
Faust.
Faust.
Then it's
My
Faust.
brain- Oh, okay. Yay, thank you.
You got the majority, regardless of who you think it was. But what are your thoughts on that anyway?
I had the brain babies, but Maria definitely made things happen.
That is a good thing, but you were the brain baby, like you said. So the other two have put in their word. You get it, good sir, good Ventru.
Taken.
Who had the best scene?
Name.
I'm giving it to
I-
Bryan. I enjoyed him trying to teach Nicole things and also trying to teach Boss things, and then promptly just busting him in half.
Promptly just busting him across the jaw.
Yeah, I like Bryan C because he's starting to realize, like, dear God, what the fuck did Maria do?
Yeah, I liked the scene where Maria just took the guy's face off and covered it with his own flesh.
Basically, like taking an eraser, right, and just erasing the nose and mouth.
Yeah, it's just gone. Oh my god.
That's
To
horrifying.
imagine she just smacked him and the nose was just.
That was
Okay.
hilarious to me.
So is that 2 votes, Bryan? Then
votes Bryan.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And does Bryan vote himself? Because that would be unanimous.
Yes.
There you are.
Yeah.
Bryan,
Yeah.
you get that experience point for the best scene. Who had the best line?
He's turning purple.
That's a good one.
God, I forgot which one I said that it made you bust into a gut and started choking. God, I forgot which one was that.
I know that Samantha was giggling when you said something about, oh, did somebody brainwash you already?
I don't remember.
That's valid. That's fair enough. We could.
I remember things happened.
We could also skip.
Gotta give it to someone.
I have my nomination. It's turning purple.
Niches get stitches.
Ooh, that's a good one too. I did hear
Classic.
that.
Yeah, I heard that one.
I did too. All right.
Honey, if you don't start talking, I'm gonna smack your friend's face into the next county.
I'll give it to Maria.
All
It's
right.
got
Maria.
All
Hey.
right. Maria, you get it. We still have the poll going, so exclamation point vote in the name of the character that you would like to vote for. So please, everybody get their votes in. We only have one from Black Wolf. Black Wolf can't run away with this goddamn post, people. Can't let Black Wolf decide everything.
Sure we can.
Pick your favorite. Doesn't matter for what reason. We've got Faust, we've got Bryan, we've got Maria here today.
There's none other people in chat.
But how do we feel about the session?
Good.
Good.
A lot
A little
was
slower, but that's probably for the best.
Mm-hmm.
Brian is
Go ahead.
Brian is extremely confused. He's never felt this shit before.
If he tries it again, he's gonna feel something else.
No, you wanna know what? Sometimes you gotta take your licks, but no, that's probably for the best. I know what I'm saving up for.
Yeah.
Well, I know what I'm trying to save up for right now because I don't have any ability to start spending. Like I'm starting to get into the point where I can start spending into various things. Oh, that also reminds me, new blood bond.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we're continuing to uncover more by these characters about the lore of the city. Though some of us in the audience and some of us in the player cast already know some of these things. But we like to look at it from a different light.
I think it's gonna go to Maria. That's just not thinking.
We'll find out. We will
Find
find out. But I hope you guys enjoyed. I enjoy running for you guys, so there's
I
that.
absolutely enjoy it.
Oh, Bryan,
Hope you don't.
do you have any willpower to heal right now?
One.
He has spent
Okay,
one, yeah.
you can consider that healed because remember I have the clan coterie merit, Old World Hospitality.
How are we finishing out the night then?
Well, Maria said she would catch that whole thing literally at the end of the night.
Oh,
so
yeah,
just
that's
yeah.
true. That's true. Go
timing
ahead.
wise, it would be the end.
Yep. So we are going
Alright.
to consider next session a new day. So you're going to go ahead and recover that willpower for the coterie merit from Maria, and anyone else who
Alright.
has a superficial willpower damage can also do so.
Yep.
Unless,
Oh.
Faust, you're not spending time at the coterie house to spend the night.
I'll come back, but he definitely left to deal with his frustration with Bryan.
God.
Brian will still be up when Faust gets back.
Just
Get what
the
you were looking for?
Faust just
passing glare.
goes to his room and pouts for the rest of the night.
That's the only way I can think of it. Get what you were looking for?
And Noel's just sitting in his room, just shaking his head. Shaking his head. I can see it now.
Mr. Stoneford can shut the fuck up. He's just as bad. He does not speak in that tone of sass.
I hope you'll forgive the rotten Australian accent that I had for a hooray. Please forgive
Actually,
me.
it was pretty rotten when you started, but there was a point where you were getting comfortable with it, and it was starting to work.
Mm-hmm.
Closer to the end of it, you were getting more comfortable and more into it.
Because I like to generally give characters their proper accent, and Ahure being the only Australian in San Antonio makes it a little bit rough. But I'm trying to mimic the way in which Mox speaks with Ahure, so that's the inspiration for that.
I think it started out rough, but closer to the end of that, you were getting more into it and more comfortable.
Mm-mm. It started to feel very Ahure, so at least there's that.
Yes.
But the poll should be almost closed here in a bit. But any expenditure thoughts before the poll closes out?
Resources too, so I have money again.
God, I want to, but none of my stuff has come to fruition just yet, and I really do need to start building up for a few other things. I'd like to get to 15 because I'm close, but I want to end up getting it for either .3 in Dominate, .3 in Animalism, or bring up Strength or Dexterity up to 3 dots.
Mm-hmm. And you haven't really nailed it down which one you want to do just yet.
Well, either way, Maria needs to keep working on it.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to get up to Protean 4 before the game ends, but I want to make sure that, like, Maria thus far has been probably the most heavily discipline dependent.
Yeah.
So it makes sense that she's just really good at her disciplines.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've fed off of enough people to add another discipline.
You have not, because you don't have any thin bloods to feed off of, or any real kindred to feed off of either.
Other than Samantha.
Yep, you've only fed off of her, and Maria wins with 100% of the votes, landslide.
Nice.
You got 2
Congratulations.
votes. You got 1 vote from Black Wolf and 1 from Lethality. So, hi Lethality, we love you.
Hi Lethality.
Yes.
We miss you.
Yeah, because right now I'm at 12. So if I get 3 more experience next session, God, would I want to do Dominate, or would I? Oh God, I don't know what I would want to do.
You're very close.
I'm almost tempted
1
to
or 2
end up
sessions
doing
away.
Animalism. Because, and I think I know what I'm gonna do. I think I don't think it's gonna be too scene heavy, but I think it gives you the opportunity to do a lot to screw around. Once she's done with David, her whole thing is literally just sitting in the back porch like Ray used to do, and just like talking to animals, blood bonding them,
as part of her
twisting
daily
it a little
routine.
bit.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, just so this way it's like, yeah, literally half the birds belong to Maria. That random rabbit that likes to run in your backyard, well, that is actually a spy. you know,
The
all that
birds
kind of
work
stuff.
for the government.
The birds
yeah.
work for the
Squirrel.
government.
Fucking squirrels, Morty! You fucking squirrels! Why'd you do that?
Yes.
Right?
Thank you guys so much for being awesome players. I appreciate all of you. And this was a good session, even though I was like half unprepared and was botching accents. And I hope I played
To be
Noel to
fair,
the best of his ability. But
to be fair, me and apparently both Bryan couldn't make a roll to save our lives without it turning into, yeah, this is a bestial. I mean, I got 9 fucking successes.
you did.
9.
It was a double crit, my dude. Like, where in the
was
world
a
did
double-
that come from?
I'm just doing an investigation. It's nothing big. Yeah, you got 3 hunger dice. 2 of them are 10s. And in your 5 regular dice, 3 of them are 10s.
3 of them
what?
were 10s. Yep, there was no fixing that one.
Yeah, there's no fixing that. And
Yo.
what I was tempted to go in for a penny, in for a pound.
And try to get
Literally
another
here,
one.
roll the other 2,
Make it a
just to see if
triple
we can
crit.
get one more 10.
Yeah.
Just to have the triple crit.
Oh, I was gonna hand it to you with a double crit. So
With the double crit, it should have been like, I show up, it's like everything you need. How do you want this to go? At that point, like with way too many successes.
you basically caught the guy off guard because
Yeah.
that's how you roll. That's how that happened. But
I
yeah.
hope, yeah, but when you like, I try my best not to lean away from compulsions. I just try and look for a way that I can like use them.
Yeah.
That would be
Not fight them, just
effective
use
to the
them. Yeah.
situation, right?
Yep.
And so that was perfect. I'm like, I'm hoping yes, he's talking to some other guy. Fantastic. He looks weak and pathetic. Oh, he seems to be running out of oxygen. Don't worry, you can take your time talking to him, Mr. Buford, but he's running out of air. So you might want to settle this up quick.
Yep. And I apologize to the stream for all of the technical difficulties we were having before, but my computer
You shut your whore mouth.
hates everything. So we'll hopefully be back to our regularly videoed programming next time once I figure out what the fuck is wrong. Yeah. So we're gonna give a little bit of a shout out to our good friend Spectre Deflector, who plays Faust. I do not have the scenes loaded because of the simple fact that everything is broken. But, Spectre, why don't you give us a little bit of an idea of what it is you do and where we can find you?
Hi, my name is Spectre Deflector. You can find me here on Twitch and also on Twitter under the same screen name. I do art for the community and have been out and about taking on commissions, and am also a role player for the community. You can find me on a couple shows, but lately, mostly here right now with San Antonio by Night on Wednesdays.
Derek, why don't you give us a bit of info on where we can find you?
Hello, everybody. My name is Macabre Derek, and you can end up finding me here on Twitch every Sunday through Thursday, 5 nights a week, starting at various times, usually 7 o'clock and onward. Sunday, I end up doing Detroit by Night Overhaul, which is rounding out the season, so we're getting close to the climax of that game, so please do check it out. I also run a Vampire the Masquerade workshop on Mondays, though this week we kind of had a bit of a hiccup. And I also end up doing Drawing on the Macabre, where I end up taking commissions, doing illustrations for the community, along with character art, overlays, and a whole bunch of other weird things. If you enjoy the grim, the grotesque, and a very grumpy cat, then it might be worth you coming to check out. I hope to end up seeing you there soon.
And thank you so much, Mojo, for also participating in our cast. He doesn't stream, but if you want to just give him a follow because, you know, you want to give him some love in his email, then Simba's Bloody Mojo is where you'll find him. But we are going to say goodnight for now, and hopefully run next week's episode a little bit more smoothly for San Antonio by Night Aftermath. So, without further ado, from the not the Motor City, this is the Alamo City. Say goodnight, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Sweet dreams.